Giving all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders to GMS. Also salutations to all the Akim out there that's pushing this truth. And also shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect. All right. And I think I'm going to title this, Where is Iran in Prophecy and the Strait of Hormuz? All right. Because what's taking place right now can really, throw a monkey wrench in your life. All right. And also, things can get serious. Okay. It can cause people to flip out. Okay. Word I'm looking for, disable your country if they cut off the Strait of Hormuz. All right. That's why I have this article right here, which I'm not going to read a lot of it, but this is a thing that can really get ugly. All right. So you think your oil and your gas, your food products, all right, your clothes is expensive now. If they close the Strait of Hormuz completely, all right, things can get very ugly fast. Okay. So let's just read a little bit of this. Iran has just partially closed the Strait of Hormuz as a vital oil choke point. It says Iran announced on Tuesday that it had temporarily closed the Strait of Hormuz, a strategic waterway through which roughly a fifth of the world's crude oil supplies transit daily. So there's a fifth of the world's oil supply. All right. So guess what? If they cut that off, things are going to get very tight. It's negotiate. And I'm gonna say this: what's connected to the oil? Right? What do people buy oil in? The U.S. dollar. All right. So that can cause what? Hyperinflation. Okay. Trust me. Iran know what they doing. All right. This Strait of Hormuz. All right. This waterway. That's a weapon to them. All right. It's like a sign of protection. And also, you don't want that open because you just want to let enemies in anyways, you know. But look, a fifth of the world's oil supply transit daily as negotiators from Tehran and Washington meet in Geneva for a new round of indirect nuclear talks. So let's scroll down a little bit. It says the operation in the Strait of Hormuz was described by Iranian state media as a security and safety precaution aimed at ensuring maritime readiness and operational control of a vital waterway. Although the announced closure was temporarily focused on live fire exercises, the rare move underscored the fraught backdrop against which Geneva negotiations are unfolding, one marked by military posturing and deep distrust between Tehran and Washington. So basically, hey, they already preparing for war, basically, man. All right, and showing you what they're gonna do if things don't work out, you know. Which I'm gonna stop right there. So let's go to the scriptures, and I'll show you where Iran is at in the scriptures. Second Ezra, gonna start off with Second Ezra 15 and start from 28. Behold, a horrible vision, an appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So yeah, all them Arab nations, those different African nations that Russia back up, hey, they coming to this war too. They're gonna be drugged into this war too, because everybody has allies. All right. Also, the Carmanians raging in wrath shall come forth as wild boars of the wood. With great power they shall come and join the battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. All right. So let's go to the Carmanians. All right. Salakia. Let's go to the Carmanians. Let's see who the Carmanians are. All right. And that, you know what? And that was, 'cause I don't think I called it. That was Second Ezra 15 and 30 that I read. It says the Carmanians was a fierce, warlike people from the ancient Persian province of Carmania, modern day Carmen, Iran. You see, or what? Persians. Now, where can you find Persia at? I'm going to show you. It says located on the north shore of the Persian Gulf, right? Then they give you the scripture mentioned in 2nd Ezra 15:30 by ancient writers of Strobel and Iran. They were known for the Persian-like customs, fighting with the donkeys due to horse scarcity and cutting off the enemy, right? So let's go to Ezekiel 38, okay? All right, and this is talking about Russia, all right, protecting Iran, all right? A lot of people get simple when they read this chapter, all right? When they see the word Magog and Magog, they think it's talking about the actual seed of Japhet. No, it's talking about the Edomites that's over there now that took over that land. All right. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thou face against Gog in the land of Gog, the chief prince of Mesech and Tubal, and prophesy against them. And say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Mesech and Tubal. Because guess what? He's over all these smaller nations, all right? Russia backs these other nations, okay? It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army. All right, it's talking about Russia. And horses and horsemen and all clothed with all sorts of armor. If you notice, Russia is always trying to be sensible, but you got America moving reckless. Now you had Venezuela, they was a part of BRICS. But guess what? The U.S. went into that land and guess what? Took the president, and Russia still ain't do shit. Okay? But that's just one example how America has been, moving reckless. And guess what? Russia been basically holding back. So the Lord said, look, I'm going to put hooks in your jaws. What he basically saying is what? I'm going to make you fight them. All right? I'm going to make you go to war. I'm going to do something. All right? Cause something to happen that's going to make you fight America, or drag you into this war. It says, all clothed with all sorts of armor, even great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling the swords. All right, what's the modern day sword? Guns, nukes, rocket launchers, RPGs, all those different things. All right, it says Persia, you see? So where's Iran in prophecy? They're right here again, all right? Modern day Persia is what? Iran. Persia, we just read it, what? About the Carmanians. Persia is all the same individuals. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, and all them with the shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, and all the house of Togomar and the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, prepare for thyself, thou and all the company that are assembled unto thee. Be thou a guard unto them. Right. So Russia is a guard unto Persia. All right. So once America go fuck, all right, with Iran or Persia, all right, guess what? That's gonna drag Russia into this. That's why I say Iran is a major player in this thing, man. So let's go to Jeremiah. Show you Sorry, 51. Jeremiah 51. Okay. And 30. And I'm just showing you where they at, all right? Just for edification's sake. 27. Because this is what we do. We go into the scriptures. All right. Jeremiah 51 and 27. Set ye up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet amongst the nations, prepare the nations against her, call together against her all the kingdoms of Irat. All right. Many. Ashkenazi. Now, many is what I'm going to show you who many is. The kingdom of Iraq, many Ashkenaz, appoint to captain against her. All right, who's the her? America. Cause the horses to come up as rough caterpillars. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, which who's the modern day Medes today? The Russians. All right, the captains thereof. See, and Noah, and it's all basically written. The scriptures are saying the same thing but written in a different way, or sometimes called by different things. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land and all the dominion. All right, so let's go into this 27 chapter. All right, when you go into many, right? What does it say? A region in Armenia. Many Armenia. So let's check out Armenia. All right, let's web search it. Let's see. Go to AI mode. See what they give me. Oh, look at that. Geography. While Mount Ararat is a national symbol, traditionally believed a resting place, Noah's Ark, located with Turkey, right? So that same place, in that same area. There should be something that gives more of a clearer, all right, understanding. So bear with me. The fuck? All right, so let's go here. Right, so you go into Iraq, all right, or Armenia. Look at that, Armenia. Okay, Iran. You see, or what? Like it says, the minor Iraq. All right, gold. All right, Mesach. I said Mesach. All right, Sesach. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong though. All right, when you go into Ezekiel the 38th chapter, you know what I'm talking about. Just read it, right? Or what the dragons of Arabia that's spoken about in Esdras, what I just read to you, right? See, Turkey, Mount Iraq, Armenia, Iran. You see, okay, that's who many is in that chapter. It's Iran. Okay, let's see. It says right here. All right, so let's get off there. All right, but you get the point. All right, many is what Iran. All right, the same place. So let me put this in. Right, Armenia, Iran maintain close, pragmatic. Let me see. Right, but it's the same area, or if not the same area. You see, look at that. It's the same area. All right. Same individuals. It is Iran. Okay. Freaking Iran. Okay, now let's go to Chat GPT. Let's talk about the Strait of Hormuz real quick. And I asked him was just more. Which I should have asked him this first, but it says, why would they close, the Strait of Hormuz? It says because Iran would not close the Strait of Hormuz casually. It would only happen if Iranian leaders believe they are under serious threat or had nothing left to lose. It, like I was saying, see, it's a weapon. Retaliation during war or military attack. This is mostly like a trick. This is most likely trigger is war. If Iran were attacked by the United States, Israel, or a coalition targeting its nuclear military facilities, Iran could try to shut the strait as retaliation. So, like I was saying, it's a weapon. If our economy is being destroyed, we will disrupt the world's economy too. So you see, so it's a weapon. They said, look, if we're gonna lose what we got, guess what? The world economy is gonna be destroyed too. Okay? Raises the cost of conflict of everyone involved. Okay? Economic pressure and sanction survival. Iran has lived under heavy sanctions for years. If sanctions tighten to the point where Iran can barely export oil, its economy was collapsing, or leadership felt concerned, closing the Strait of Hormuz becomes a leverage move. So you see, they say, look, if our oil ain't moving, ain't nothing moving. Nobody oil is moving. The message would be, if we can't sell, oh damn, see, I ain't read that. If we can't sell, nobody in this region will. See, and I even read that, you see. It forces global powers to negotiate because energy prices surge worldwide. The tyranny showing strength. Sometimes the threat matters more than the action. Iran may threaten closure to discourage military strikes, influence negotiations, and demonstrate regional power. This deterrent strategy, raising risks so opponents hesitate. Iran regularly conducts naval exercises near the strait, partly for this reason. Right? Basically, the one they was just doing, the article was just that's them just flexing power. All right, showing that they have some kind of leverage. Domestic political survival. Governments under internal pressure sometimes takes external action. If Iran faced major protests, economic collapse, leadership instability, a confrontation abroad can unify domestic support. All right, and I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna jump up. All right, a little bit. Listen, if it says, what happened if Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz? What would affect the how would it affect the world? If Iran fully closed the Strait of Hormuz, it would be one of the most disruptive events in modern global economy, affecting oil, food, shipping, inflation, even risk of war. Let's break it down clearly. Why the Strait of Hormuz matters so much, right? And they show you these different maps, how they move the oil from over there, right? So America's playing with fire. Okay. It says the Strait of Hormuz is a narrow water passage between Iran and Oman, connecting the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. It is arguably the most important energy checkpoint of the earth. Look at that. About 20% of the world's oil supply passes through it daily. Around 20 million barrels per day move through the strait. Huge natural gas shipments from Qatar also depend on it. Major exporters using it: Saudi Arabia, Iraq, UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, Iran itself. Yes, and all those is, major players in oil, man. Right? Especially Saudi Arabia. Oil prices would explode almost immediately. Oil prices could jump to 100 to 120 per barrel or higher. Markets could panic within hours. Gas prices worldwide would rise quickly because suddenly one-fifth of the global oil supply disappears and becomes uncertain. But what you'll notice first, gas prices spike at the pump. Airline tickets increase, shipping costs surge, electricity prices rise in many countries. Global inflation would surge. Look at that. High energy affects everything. Higher oil, higher costs for transportation, manufacturing, farmer equipment, fertilizer production, food delivery. Economists warn this would drive inflation globally, slow economic growth, possibly trigger recession conditions. Food prices could rise because food and fertilizer depends on energy markets. So look, this shit would cause chaos, man. All right. This would cause complete chaos. Because people is barely making it already. All right. And just because everything go up, guess what? Your bills don't stop. All right. So let's grab one scripture before I shut this down. Where's that at? Slovakia. Mm. All right, let's go to the 16th chapter. Right? Second Ezra's 16 and 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Right? And you gotta remember, right? Look at the state that America is in already with ICE and the political world. If you add all this inflation and shit on top of it, man, and people, already losing their jobs, man, it's gonna bring this stuff, man. It's gonna bring famine. It's gonna bring great death. All right, wars. All right, and many evils. It says, "Behold, famine, plague, tribulation." Right, because people won't be able to eat. All right, people are gonna go to what? Robbing and stealing and killing. Behold, famine, plague, tribulation, anguish are sent as scourges for an amendment. But all these things they shall not turn away, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Yeah, so even when this stuff jump off, right, people is not going to repent. People are not going to get right. Behold, victuals shall be so cheap, good upon the earth, they shall think themselves to be in a good case, right? And that's over now. All right. Now, all right, we living in a time of inflation. Now we're about to go into what? Hyperinflation. Now listen to this, right? So while things was in a good case, guess what? What was happening? And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape from the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall no man comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. Yeah, things are going to get real, man. You know? So with that, give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders of GMS. Also salutations to all the Akim out there expressing this truth. And also shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect. Peace.